Citizens, run away before you get smashed by the destruction of the helicopter running into the Statue of Liberty. No? Nobody cares? Okay, nobody seems to care. Hello everybody, I am Keyin and welcome back to Virtual Reality. Today we're playing a new game called Tiny Town VR. This game looks super neat. Check this out. Basically, this game is like your own virtual Lego set. You can essentially build panoramas. You can build little towns, and you have all kinds of little things that you can put down, and you can create these worlds in this virtual reality headset. It's super neat. Check this out. Okay, so we're gonna open up one of the pre-made levels here just so that I can show you kind of some of the things that you can do. But I do have an idea for something that we can make, and I think it's going to be pretty fun. So, as you can see, this is one of the pre-made levels that was in the game, and you can see we're kind of like flying around it, and it looks almost like a toy set here in front of us. It's super neat, and it's very intuitive. It's very easy to use. You can move around the map very easily, and then you can go into your inventory here, and you can see all the different items and objects that you can place. It is super neat. There's tons of flexibility. I mean, look at this. There's so many different things. Oh my gosh. I haven't even been through most of this inventory here, but there are tons of little objects. Look, we can set her down. Let's put her right there. Perfect. There she is. She's glorious. And there's Helicopter Man up there. I didn't even notice him. Hey, are you all right, buddy? And then you can take the characters and you can actually pose them. So look at this. You can really get detailed with it. You can take their legs, kick them all around. Look, Look, we can make him a karate master. Let's put him like that, and then we'll give him one of those poses like this. And then what I'm gonna do is put him right at the very top. Get over here, and let's put him right there. Look at that ninja master right there at the very top of Lady Liberty herself. Very cool. Let's see. We'll take a helicopter. The helicopter's gonna look like it's almost gonna crash in. Oh my goodness, bad things are gonna happen. Terrible things. Citizens, run away before you get smashed by the destruction of the helicopter running into the Statue of Liberty. No? Nobody cares? Okay, nobody seems to care. But as you can see, there is a lot of flexibility here. And then we can also increase the scale. So I can zoom in here, and we can make the world look a little bit bigger to ourselves and actually feel like we're in this world. You can see the skateboarder here. As somebody who was an avid skateboarder myself, you can tell right off the bat that that's not a normal skateboard there. That's a longboard, typically a cruiser board, and he is getting some sick air off of that thing. Being able to ollie with a skateboard like that, very impressive. I am impressed, sir. You're a talented individual. But yeah, look at this. We got a pawn shop over here. Let's go over there. Let's check out what this guy's doing. Why is he kicking the vending machine? Why would he do that? These guys are trouble. Look at these guys. Let's rotate the screen here. I think I can. Come on, work with me here. I know how to do this. I'm still kind of learning though. Yeah? No, that's not working. Work with me. Okay, there's a way to rotate the camera. I promise you. I'm just not doing it right. So anyways, yeah, you can really tap into your creativity here. But what I was thinking is that there's so many objects that we have in this game. I was thinking that it might actually be possible to recreate the Hello Neighbor neighborhood in Tiny Town VR. How cool would that be? Just to be able to build Hello Neighbor's house alone would be really cool. So I think we're gonna try that out today. I just wanted to give you guys kind of an idea of what the game is about and what you can do in the game. So now we are going to jump into a brand new world and attempt to build the Hello Neighbor neighborhood. I'm really gonna have to tap into my creativity here, and this could be an absolute disaster, but I'm hoping not. All right, and I think that we have a blank world right here that we can just start with, and you can see, yeah, so this is our world right now. There's not a lot to see, not a lot to work with here. I also have an image of the neighbor's house on my desktop that I'm going to be switching to just to get an idea of what we need to do and the steps that we need to take. I need something to work off of because I'm certainly not going to be able to build his house off of memory alone. So one of the cool things that you can do is if you hold down the touchpad, you can actually replicate whatever is selected here very, very easily. So we can make land basically, by just holding the touchpad and then reaching out to these little blue squares. Makes it super easy to make an area very quickly. So I don't know how big of an area we need to make. We're probably going to start out with the street. So I'm thinking that this right here, the middle of this area, is going to be the road, and then that side of the green area is going to be where we build his house. All right, so this will kind of be our working area. We don't need this. You just throw an object if you want it to go away, which is fun. I'm gonna pull it back a little bit. I'm actually gonna do one more row of green here. So we're gonna select this guy, get this guy selected. Whoa, there we go, and then pull this all the way across. This guy and pull this across, and there we go. Now we have a nice big working space to work with. Okay, so let's start with just the bottom part of his house. And basically what we're probably going to do in order to build this house is we're going to have to stack houses on top of each other, because that's kind of how the neighbor's house is laid out. It's tons of houses kind of stacked on top of each other. So that's kind of the format that we're going to follow here. So let's get out of here, out of vehicles. We don't need speech bubbles. That's also a fun little thing. You can do speech bubbles in this game. Okay, go to farm. I think farm has the houses that look a lot like the bottom of the neighbor's house. I think that one of these would probably work pretty well, but I just want to look through what we've got options for. Actually, this house right here looks a lot like the Alpha 2 house just by itself, just alone. That house looks a ton like the Alpha 2 house. I'm thinking this one is probably gonna be our best bet. I don't know though. I don't feel it. I don't feel that one actually. Let's maybe what we need to do is take something like this. He doesn't have an awning that comes out, but you know, again, like, we're gonna do our best with the pieces that we have. We may not be able to perfectly replicate the neighbor's house, but we're gonna try. So I'm gonna set it down right there, and that's gonna be the beginning of the neighbor's house. Now, he has kind of like a section that peaks up right here. So I'm thinking that if we take a piece like maybe like this, or let me pull this over a little bit. Maybe this guy here would do the trick. Yeah, let's try this out here. And I don't know if we can actually change the size of the buildings. And also, I probably need to turn snapping off, because it's going to prevent us from being able to stack houses on top of each other. I just wish that they were more together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into snapping here, and I'm going to turn off object snapping. I think that's probably what we need. Now, this is going to make placing the items a lot harder, but it's going to allow us to take objects and kind of fuse them together like that. So you can see now we have a house. You know what? Actually, I have an idea here. So I'm going to take this, and because this part of the house is like a little bit higher than the rest of the house, so if I take one of these and then I just replicate it down. Oh, I can't replicate it down. So if I pull it out and then I put it like this, it might look a little goofy. I know. It looks a little silly, but that is more or less the effect that we have in front of the neighbor's actual house. So actually, let me pull this over. I'm just going to try to line this up as best as I can. It's a little bit hard because, again, we don't have snapping on, so we have to manually place things, and obviously it's very, very sensitive. So it's a little crooked, but that's okay. That's actually a really great start. Okay, so now I'm actually checking through the town section of the items that we have, because I noticed that the neighbor's house is made up of a lot of very square looking objects. And the nice thing about the farmhouses is that they look more like houses, but the houses in the town kind of fit the design of the house as it goes up. So I think we're probably going to use a lot of these pieces to try and flesh out the rest of the house as we build up. So I'm just kind of looking through here just to see if anything fits properly. I did see something that probably would work pretty well. I don't want any of these skyscrapers. Oh my goodness, we're not that crazy. I think actually probably, oh, it actually looks like we've got normal looking houses in the town section. This object right here might actually be pretty good for later on. I don't know if we need it right now. Wow, there are huge houses over here. Oh my goodness, these are like mansions. That's kind of what the neighbor's house looks like the bottom section of the neighbor's house. That is kind of what it looks like, but I like what we've done so far. I like what we have here. So what I'm thinking is that we'll use one of these boxes right here. Is this a factory? This is a factory. That's kind of funny. We're gonna use a factory, but I don't want that one. I want this one. This one's a little bit bigger. So let's see if this fits. Now I want to rotate it, and I want to place it like that so that the door isn't on the side of our house. So basically it goes like right here. I think that's more or less the effect that I want. Yeah, that's pretty good actually. Now we need to add to the top of our main house right there. And I'm kind of at a loss for exactly what we should do. I want something that is preferably blue, just because that's the color that we've kind of gone with. And it's also the color of the neighbor's house. But also something that fits properly. And I'm having a hard time finding something that will fit there correctly. It's basically just going to be a blue square, but I don't see anything that fits that specifically. This might actually do the trick. Why don't we try this out? Let me zoom in here, and if I take this guy and I just rotate him around, let me turn him around like that. It's kind of goofy that there's only 2 sets of windows on the back, but this could work. Let me take it and put it right, let's see, right there. Might actually do the trick. That actually looks pretty good. Let me just scoot it back just a little bit. And there, now we can actually take advantage of the fact that we have windows on the second floor here. And I think that actually does a pretty good job. Yeah, I like that. So now things get kind of crazy. The house obviously goes very high up and gets really, really weird. And I'm trying to figure out how best to handle this. I think something like this might actually be the way to go. I don't like that it's green though. I want to kind of change up the colors as we go up. I feel like that's kind of a neighbor type thing with the weird colors interconnected throughout the house as it rises into the sky. So I kind of want to change up the colors as we do that. I think that this one might actually be a pretty good fit. So let me take this and I'm going to set it back here like that. And it's weird that there's a door on it. I will admit that, because there's not a door there on the original neighbor's house, but we're making do with what we've got here. So I think that's pretty good to continue the progression of getting the neighbor's house way up into the sky. Okay, and then we have kind of like a weird offshoot, but I'm wondering if I can make use of some of the farm stuff, because I like the look of the farm stuff. It makes me feel cozy, it makes me feel at home, but I don't think any of these are gonna work. I think we have to stick to the town because they are just much more square, and that seems to work with what we're trying to do. I'm gonna try this piece here. I think actually this piece might work pretty well over, oh, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to bring it a little bit closer. Let's put it over here, and I think there's no windows on it, huh? Alright, there's only windows on the front, but there's also a door, which again, very strange, but we're making do with what we've got. So this one's gonna go right here, and if you recall, that's kind of like the open room. There's a section of the house that kind of juts out of the side, and it's cut open, and there's a TV and a couch up there, so that's kind of what we're putting right there. And then we have to go off to the side because there's the C train, there's that thing hanging, and that's where the red key room is, and we need to put that out here somewhere. So I need to figure out how we're gonna do that as well. Now on top of this is essentially a red house, and I think that we can make something work with our farm objects here. So I guess what I'm gonna do is take this guy, which we have down here as well, but we're gonna take another one and we're just gonna place it on top like that. I think that should do the trick. I don't like that we have to use the same piece that we use down at the bottom, but I think that's the effect that we're trying to go for. I guess we could change the color. You know what? Get out of here and let's see if there's a different color version of that. There's a green one. In fact, there's a red one that might actually do a better job. No, that's not what I wanted. Go back, please. There's an orange one here. That actually, yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring that down like right here. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And then on top of that is yet another house. So let's take something very similar to what we used, but a different color. I'd like a different color. Maybe the green one. Maybe this beige one right here. I like vibrant colors. I feel like that fits the Hello Neighbor theme a little bit better, but sometimes you gotta make do with what you got. So I think we're gonna go with this one here, and then this one is gonna be placed like this. So it's basically balancing on top of the roof of that one, which is super silly, but welcome to the wonderful world of Hello Neighbor. So let's go ahead and put that, I think, go something like that. Bring it up just a little bit, and that actually looks pretty good. And so this is actually where the arm comes out, and then we have the C train over here. We'll get to that in a little bit. I think I just want to get the overall layout of the neighbor's house, and my earbud just fell out. Please come back. Okay, disaster averted. Earbuds are back where they belong for the most part. I feel like this one's gonna fall out too, but it happens. It happens, especially when I talk and I use earbuds. For whatever reason, your ears kind of change shape and it pushes the earbuds out of your ears. So I'm gonna have to keep those things where they belong. Okay, so I want to bring out this side now because that's kind of what the house does. So let's go back into town here. And we want something square once again. Maybe like this. This might actually do the trick. Let's see if we can get this where I want it. This one is a little bit further back, kind of like that. I want to make it look at least presentable. So like having windows just kind of poking out of the side is something that I want to avoid, but for the most part, we're just going to have to make do. Okay, I think that's what I want. Let me check. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Okay, now let's continue this. I think that this one, we need a big one that kind of is tall. So I think actually we might have to stack a couple of these on top of each other. I don't know if I want the window side forward though, so I'm gonna just do that. And then actually I'm gonna try to, nope, that's not what I wanted to do, but I do want it to go over here. So try to line that up as best as I can. I know it's a little bit crooked. Yeah, it's a little crooked. I'm actually gonna replicate this again. Try to fix it. Oh, I got it out of place. Okay, I'm gonna replicate this again, and I'm gonna put one right over here. And this is kind of where the train comes out. So this is kind of where the train station is, and we're gonna have to mess around with the train tracks too. I haven't done that yet, so that's gonna be an interesting adventure, but we'll get there. So we need a house on top of this. That's the next step. So I'm gonna check our inventory here, and I think I'm gonna go over to farm, and I think actually this might do the trick. That's actually kind of too big. Is there something that's a little bit smaller but similar? This might do it. Yeah, you know what? I think this might do the trick. Let me get this guy placed. Let's see, maybe like that? It's gonna look super silly from the back, but that's okay. We're gonna avoid looking at it from the back. We're just gonna look at it from the front. Yeah, I need it to be a little bit bigger, so we may actually have to go with that really big one that we saw, this one. Is that what we were using at the bottom? I think this might actually be what we're using at the bottom. No, that's the same house that we used. This one. Yeah, I think this one is the way to go. And like something like that. Okay, yeah. I think that's pretty good. Okay, and then we basically need a house to bridge these two together, and then there's a gap right here, and that's where the train kind of rides through. So I think our layout is actually coming together pretty good. Actually, a lot better than I expected, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm actually pleasantly surprised in how well this has turned out. So let's see if this bridges the gap. It's not big enough. It's really... It's kind of too small. It is the effect that we want, but I feel like it needs to be bigger than that. You know what? Actually, what we can probably do is take this and then take one of these. I'm just gonna replicate this and put this kind of in. Oh man, it's too skinny. It's too narrow. We need something that's a little bit wider. It's the same color as that, which kind of bothers me. Maybe if we go like that, and then we take this guy and put this guy right on top of that, I guess that kind of creates the effect that we want. The whole thing looks like it's tipping over. But we're gonna have to just make do with that. All right, last but not least is the windmill, and we're gonna have to figure out how to do that. Now, I know there's a windmill. Yes, there is. I don't know how big it is, though. Actually, ooh, that is a nice big windmill. I'm actually very happy about that. So this basically goes on top of this guy, right? Like that, I guess? Yeah, that's pretty good. And then there's a platform that comes out of the side of this, and we need to figure out how we're gonna do that platform. Are there just like items that we can use that are more or less just platforms? There's scaffolding right here. That might do the trick. Let's see. Let's see if that looks really dumb or if that actually works. Let's see. That looks kind of silly, to be honest with you. It doesn't really look the way that it does in Hello Neighbor, so I don't really like it. Let's look at more objects and see if we can find something that works a little bit better. I've got a pallet here. This might actually work. I know it's really, really little, but if we replicate it properly, we could use the pallet as the platform. I think this is coming together pretty good. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. And then if we can get some kind of like railing around the side of it, that should do the trick. I think I saw railing somewhere in here. I just don't know exactly where it was. We're gonna have to find it. It looks like we got some railing right here. So this should do the trick. So let's go like that. Actually, let me line that up a little bit better. Get like that. Okay, let's see if we can replicate that all the way across, just like so. I think that's pretty good. And then let's take another one out like this, and I'm gonna rotate this guy and put him right on the edge. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And then we're gonna do the same thing once again, just replicate it and then rotate it so that we can get this guy placed on the other side of our platform here and bring that across. Oop, it's starting to fall off a little bit here. Let's try to bring it back together again. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I mean, it doesn't look perfect, but it gets the effect. Unfortunately, in the picture that I'm following to replicate this whole thing, I can't actually see the platform. So I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I think overall that's close enough. Alright, so let's actually try and set up the thing that comes out here, basically the red key room. So we need something that extends out and then basically a rope that drops down and then attach like a sea train. So we need to find all those objects. Let's go to construction. I feel like construction is going to be a good spot to find stuff that we would need. Maybe not. These are all just signs, it seems. Okay, these aren't going to work. Here we go. We got some lumber. I think this is going to do the trick. So let's grab that. Oh, that is so little. It's too tiny. I need something that's bigger. It's going to take forever to try and get that to work. I mean, I guess I could try it, but I think I left one in the sky. Yeah, there's one over there. Oh, I did a couple of them. Oops. Let's see if this lumber is bigger. Nope, that lumber is not bigger. That's not going to work. All right, we may just have to make this work. So we're going to try and figure out a way to make this work where you can actually see it, because it is so tiny. My goodness, what am I supposed to do with something so tiny like that? I mean, I guess I could put it like that and then extend it out. Let's see if we can. That is a very sketchy thing right there. How is that supposed to hold up a giant sea train? That doesn't seem physically possible. Oh man, that looks super sketchy. I love it. There we go. It's beautiful. Absolutely glorious. Okay, well, we more or less made it work. It doesn't look fantastic, but it does give the effect that there's an arm coming out, and then we basically need to drop something down to hold the crate. And basically what's holding it is rope, and I don't know if I've actually seen rope, but maybe we can find something that can work as a rope. Maybe just this, but that's kind of what we used. What is this? This is a golf club. I don't know if a golf club is going to do the trick. We do have power lines, but they're kind of, it seems like they come in a set, and I don't know if that's what I want. Let's see if it doesn't look like there's anything else here. Ooh, this might actually work. We got fuel pipes. I think that this fuel pipe is what we want. Yeah, I think that's gonna do the trick. Okay, so let's go ahead and put one right there, and then we're gonna replicate that guy. And let's put another one right here. Okay, and then we want one more. So let's grab that, and we'll put this guy right here. And then we basically need to attach a building of some sort that is shaped like a sea train, more or less, to all of these pipes here. I mean, that's kind of what we want, but not that big. That's too big. Okay, let's try racetrack. I don't think racetrack is going to have anything for us. Actually, are you kidding me? This is like perfect. That is absolutely perfect. That is exactly what we wanted. It's not green, which is, I kind of wanted it to be a different color, but that's perfect. That's too perfect. I can't believe racetrack held the answers that we wanted. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling pretty good about this. This is looking pretty good. I mean, we've pretty much finished all of the construction of the actual shape and buildings of the neighbor's house. Like, this is a really, really nice representation of it. Now we just need to, like, accessorize, I guess. So we need the train tracks. We also need some pipes, and I wonder if you have smoke in this game, because remember, there's like smoke stacks on the top of his house. That would be kind of cool if we could add some smoke effect to it. And then we need like little pillars that are holding up different sections of the house, and I think we can kind of do the same thing that we did with the lumber over there, and we can just kind of bring them up and make like little lines that are holding up the house, more or less. This right here, this fence, looks like a train track. That could totally work. This is what we're going to use for the train tracks. Okay, so we just need to figure out the overall layout. I kind of have an idea of it. I think that basically it starts out right over here. So we're gonna take this guy and put him like that, and that's basically the start of the tracks, and then they come around, go around again. We'll figure it out. All right, so let's replicate this guy, bring him out, and we're gonna angle that up a little bit, just like that. Okay, replicate again, and then change up the angle. I think we need to take a little bit sharper turn there, and then get this guy like that, this situated properly. It's coming out a lot further than I kind of want it to, but it will still give the same effect that we get with the train tracks in Hello Neighbor's House. And there goes my earbud again. The whole thing is falling apart. Let's get this thing fixed. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're aiming for this house. This is where one of the train stations is. So we're just kind of taking this and just taking our time, angling it properly towards that house, although I think we're a little bit off, but if we angle it back down, we should be okay. Just get it like that, and then like that, and I guess that'll work. It's going into the front of the building, but that's okay. Okay, so let's take another one of these, and I just want to replicate this guy and bring him over to the other side of the house. Now, don't look at the house here, because this is very, very ugly. The back of the house is a disaster, so let's just ignore that for the time being. So I think the way it works is that it comes around like this, and then it goes through the back of this house, and that's where the second train station is. Or it goes through the back of this house? I'm actually kind of confused as to where it goes. I know at some point it goes through here. Alright, so basically what I'm doing is I'm taking it into the back of this house here, and then it pops out the front. I think this is the way it works. This is where the other train station is, and then it comes back down like this, and this is where it goes through the center of the house. So it goes through this area right here. So we're just gonna replicate that and go like that, and then get that guy extended out there, and that looks pretty good. And then it comes back around over here. So that's basically all we have to do, is just reattach it like that. So let's just keep extending it out like that, and we'll bring it down a little bit so that we can make that turn. Just want to get myself situated here. Okay, grab that. Not too bad, if I do say so myself. I am very happy with the way that this whole build is turning out. It's actually been a ton of fun doing this, kind of tapping into my creative side. Not something that I normally do, but I am having a blast with this game. If you guys have VR, if you have access to the HTC Vive, I highly recommend that you check out Tiny Town VR because it is a ton of fun. You absolutely get lost in your creations. I think I've been doing this for almost 2 hours. It feels like I've been playing for 15 minutes, to be honest with you. This is so cool. Look at that. That is something that I am very proud of. I am very happy with the way that this whole thing has turned out. Okay, so basically all we need now is just like little pillars, supports to hold up the house. I need to find something that will work well. I mean, we can just use what we used before, which was basically those lumber, those pieces of wood. But I would like to see if there's maybe something a little bit better. It looks like there may not be. Yeah. So that's basically all we've got. So you know what, let's just make it work. Let's grab this guy, and I'm just kind of gonna wing it. I'm not following exactly the way that it is in Hello Neighbor. I'm just gonna kind of put pillars where I feel like it would make sense. So I'm just gonna work my way up like this, and hopefully I can get it to the train tracks. Hopefully it connects. Please line up properly. Come on. Yes! Alright, that worked. Super sketchy. I would not trust that, but that's okay. Alright, there's one more touch, though, that we need, and that is the picket fence, and of course, the car crashed into the picket fence. So let's set that up. Let's see if we can find fences. I know I saw fences. I think they were under farm. Yep, there it is. There's the fence. That's what we want. We want this guy right here. Okay, so basically, we're going to take this and put this around the perimeter of the neighbor's house. So let's try and get this set up properly. Let's see. I think it's like right here. Yeah, that's pretty good. There you go. Okay, now we've got the fence. Now we need a car. We need a red car. So let's go to, I guess it would be town. And I think cars are a completely separate section. There you go. And that's a pretty red car. Let's see if there's anything else that fits the bill a little bit better. It doesn't look like there's anything that fits his car quite exactly. So I think we're going to go with this one. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, go ahead and take this, and as we know, it's kind of sitting on top of the fence. We need to turn snapping off to do this, so let's go ahead and turn snapping off. And I want to take one of these fences here, probably this guy, and just kind of lay it down like that, and then put the car on top of it. That's so great. Oh man, I love this game. This is so much fun. We also need a mailbox. I couldn't help but notice that there was a mailbox. I think it was in here. I hope it was in here. It may have actually been in town. Yeah, I think it was in town. There's tons of stuff in town, though. You have to dig through so many different things. Try and find what you want. Where is the mailbox? There it is. Okay, that's what I wanted. There we go. Okay, take this guy right here, and let's put the mailbox right there. Perfect. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, we need the neighbor. So we need to find someone that looks kind of like the neighbor. So let's kind of look through here. Actually, let's go to farm. He seems like a farming type, although he's not wearing a hat. This guy kind of looks like him, but he's wearing a hat. All right, maybe we'll go with the farming version of the neighbor. I think that's probably the closest we're going to get to someone who actually looks like the neighbor. I'm having a hard time actually seeing anybody who looks more or less like the neighbor. This is probably the closest we're gonna get. This is the neighbor's brother, Clarence, and he's just watching the house for now. So let's go ahead and put him at the front door, and let's pose him up a little bit. We gotta put him in like a chasing kind of look. So he's gonna go like that, and he's running. He's running after us. He's so mad. Yeah. He's jumping off of his porch trying to get us because we're sneaking into his house. He doesn't want that. All right, there we go, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I am pretty stinking happy with the way that this turned out, and we can certainly build on this. If you guys enjoyed this, we can definitely add to the neighborhood. We can add trees and stuff. We can get a little bit more scenery going on. We can make our house behind us. We can definitely do a lot with this, but man, this game is so stinking cool. I'm so happy with the way that this turned out. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and let me know if you guys want me to continue this Hello Neighbor build in Tiny Town VR, because I'm having a ton of fun doing this. But that is gonna do it for this episode, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, and of course, if you'd like to see more, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking that little circle with my logo in it right below this window. below. You can also watch more of my videos by clicking on the sides of the screen, but that is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.